Welcome back to Chemistry 1, Unit 6 on Chemical Equations, Lesson 1, Video 2. So in the last video, we looked at what a chemical reaction is and the different ways that we represent chemical equations. And we looked at this chemical equation here, and we talked about oxygen, iron, and the ferric oxide that's present. But as you can see, we have some symbols that are after the substances. And these are commonly used in chemical equations, and they represent different states of matter and different conditions that exist within a chemical equation. So if there is an S after something, that is going to stand for solid. So in our iron, we had solid iron, and then we have solid ferric oxide. But you can see that oxygen has a G after it, which you can probably guess is going to mean that we have a gas present. So, based on this equation, you can see that we're combining oxygen and iron. Oxygen's a gas, so that is present in the air. So this is the actual process of rusting. And if we look, we have more stuff in iron oxide in rust than we do with our iron that we start with. These are both solids. So if we look and start with a 10-gram piece of iron, we're actually going to have, if it turns to pure rust, it's going to have more mass than the iron that we started with because we're incorporating gas into this solid to form this compound. So if you start with a 10-gram piece of iron, you might end up with a 15-gram pile of rust. Other terminology, if you see an L after it, and sometimes they use a cursive L because that kind of looks like a 1, that's going to be a liquid. And an AQ, this means that something is aqueous. That's what it stands for. And what that means is it's dissolved in water. So most of the time, a lot of reactions take place when the solid has been dissolved in water to form a solution. So you have different solutions that react together. Sometimes if you put two solids together, nothing will happen. But if they're dissolved, each one is dissolved in water and we mix them together, we will get a reaction. If you see a little triangle, that usually means heat was applied. And typically you'll see it above an arrow. So you'll see something like that. And that just means in order to get the reaction started, we had to add heat. A single arrow like this means produces or yields. And occasionally you will see a double arrow. And we're not going to be talking much about these compounds in Chem 1, but these are reversible reactions. So a lot of reactions, the products can break down again and give you the reactants. And this is a special condition called equilibrium that's a little bit more than what we need to do in Chem 1. So if you were to go on to a higher level chemistry class, Chem 2, this is a big topic because a lot of really important reactions, especially ones that take place in the body, can reverse themselves, and that's a basis for how our body works.